Do we know what our board is doing?
Yes, I have everything right in front of me here. Because it's been a while, everyone, since I've, worked. We've been kind of messing around and just chilling out and taking some time for ourselves on the weekend. So we are back. So hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask Dad, a dad show. Would you like to do the intro? No. Are you sure?
I'm absolutely positive, but I might call Sean Connery if you...
Oh, okay. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask Dad, a dad show not just for dads, but everyone that wants fatherly advice from a real dad. Whether you're here for the bad dad joke or to gain some insight, Will Snow is the man, the myth, and the legend, in his own mind, of course, who knows all things. So please, welcome to today's episode of Ask Dad. Oops, the intro was still playing.
Okay.
I love you. You're amazing. Okay. Hello, Will Snow.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hey, my lovely Debo. How are you?
I'm fabulous because I'm next to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel the same way.
I know.
It's been wonderful.
It has been. Yeah.
We've been messing about.
Yeah, just chilling out, kind of taking a break, if you will, from many things.
Taking a breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
A much needed breath.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of stuff going on in our lives, just like everybody else. You get busy with life, and, sometimes you have to just put on the brakes and say, okay, let's just take a time out here and chill out a little bit. So we did, and I feel better. I feel energized. I feel powerful. I feel full of advice.
Okay. Do you have a dad joke, or are you going to go into a story?
Well,
that is actually a dad joke.
No, I actually, we said we were going to do some shout outs. So I would actually like to send a shout out to Sidewalks Everywhere for keeping me off the streets.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Okay, then.
Actually, I wanted to shout out to my friend Michelle B. She and I have been friends since we were in our early 20s. And then, life happened. She moved to the west coast of the country. I moved to the south. And we hadn't spoken other than the annual, hey, happy birthday, how you doing? Great, blah, blah, blah. So a couple weeks ago, I reached out to her on social media, of all things, and just asked how she was doing. And we ended up catching up, FaceTiming for about 3 hours, just catching up on our lives, and it was amazing. I really missed her. It was great to reconnect. You know how they say people come and go in your lives when they're needed the most. So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I'm really happy that my friend Michelle B is back in my life. She's actually on a cruise around New Zealand at the moment.
Cool. I always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Me too. I love kiwi, and I'm talking about the fruit.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I was reading about New Zealand, and they did the COVID-0 thing where they basically shut down tourism to their island.
Right.
And now they're going, hey, tourists, come back. Yeah. Come back. Well, it's not that easy, of course, because, it's got all of these, these airlines have come, they have different routes now. They have different things to do with their airplanes. That's...
And, because of that, because I had wanted to go to New Zealand when I was trying to plan my 50th birthday trip. And it would have been, because it was in 2021, and it would have been having to fly there, quarantine for 2 weeks, then do the 2-week vacation, then quarantine for another 2 weeks before I would be allowed to leave the country and come home. And it's like, who has time for that? So I told my suitcases that we weren't going on vacation, and I had to deal with all of this emotional baggage.
Oh, there you go. Snuck it in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But at any rate, that was some crazy, crazy time.
It was.
I was just really whacked out. People were having quite the experience. Well, but we lived through it, right?
Did.
We lived through it. Yeah. And I think the way we lived through it, to be honest, was to stop taking everything so seriously.
Yeah.
Had to laugh. We had to find a way to laugh.
Oh,
it's like, I made that comment earlier about finding some beauty in every day. I'm gonna amend that, or actually, I'm gonna extend that and say, in addition to finding some beauty in every day, try to find something to laugh about every single day, and hopefully, yourself, because we do take ourselves very seriously.
Too seriously.
We take ourselves so seriously.
We were just watching an episode of The Amazing Race, one of my favorite shows. So
It is a fun show.
Shout out to The Amazing Race.
That is a fun show.
And they were kicking what looked like soccer balls. It kind of looked like a giant hacky sack game. I don't remember the name of the game. They were in Japan. It was beautiful. Anyway, I was just imagining one of my best friends, Jake Quillen, and I trying to kick that ball, because there was one day that
that would make me laugh.
We saw a penny. We saw this penny on the ground, and she went to kick it, and she missed. And we're both staring at the penny, but at the same time, we're snarfing and laughing, and both of us were like squatting to try to hold it in because we were going to pee our pants.
Okay.
And all I could imagine is what it would look like if she and I were trying to kick that giant
Oh my God.
hacky sack soccer ball looking thing in Japan. It would have been
That would have been
funniest
funny.
thing.
But and then that begs the question. So now, like, I know the race is a competition and everybody's all intense in their competition and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I would actually like to see a couple in there that were just laughing at everything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, come on, this is hilarious. And just have, just a little bit of a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that has been really evident to me in the last several years is how very seriously people take themselves.
Yeah.
And their turmoils and their troubles and their lives and their, and look, it is. We're all kind of we're pushing through it. We're doing what we can. We're all struggling to a certain extent. Well, not all of us, obviously, but for the most part, we're all struggling.
majority,
And the reality of it is this, that, you've got this journey. We've got this journey. We've got this iteration of our soul's journey. We can enjoy it too.
Yes.
I mean, why can't we laugh at it a little bit? So maybe I'm going to, amend my initial concept. Yeah, find something beautiful in every day, and find a way to laugh at yourself every day.
Every day.
Just don't take yourself so seriously. You're important. We're all important. We're all on this important journey. But if we could take a little bit of the pressure off yourself by laughing about it.
So, do you mean like if I trip over my own feet, or when I'm brushing my teeth and all the toothpaste ends up on my shirt?
It's a beautiful sight.
And it's just like, it looks like I'm foaming at the mouth, like I'm rabid because the toothpaste is
It's going to
everywhere.
be an old Yeller moment here. And I'm going to cry.
No crying.
No crying.
There's no crying in baseball, but we're not talking about that.
No crying in baseball. That was funny.
Yeah.
No, yes, absolutely. Right? I mean, I'm reminded, I was running to class one time at school, and I was running by the quad, by the student union, and I was late, and I don't know why I was running, because who cares anyway, right? I mean,
Right. In the big scheme of things, when you look back on it, doesn't really matter.
stupid. Anyway, so I was running, and I was like, there was a whole bunch of people sitting on one of the ledges there, and I'm running by, and I tripped over my own very large feet, and I skinned my knees, and I tore a hole in my knees and my pants.
Yeah.
My books went flying everywhere. I skinned my hands and all of that. And I immediately got up and looked around to see if anybody saw me. And of course, everybody saw me, and they were laughing. Now, what could I do?
Bow?
Just laughed.
Yeah. Did you bow?
I did not bow. I should have bowed. That would have been the total.
The coup de grace.
Yeah, the coup de grace.
Is that how you say it? My brain is blanking.
Coup de grace.
Is it coup de grace? Is it coup de grace? I don't even remember.
Coup de grace.
Okay. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Anyway, so no, that would have been a brilliant move. I mean,
something that I wish that I had gotten on video, similar to something that you wish you got on video recently. Well, like a year and a half ago. So we are in Costa Rica, and we had this dinner reservation.
yeah.
So we had this, we were all dressed up. It was a wine pairing dinner, like 7 or 8 courses. And we get there, and
I think we made it through 6 courses, and then we had a tap.
Oh my God, seriously, I could not. And they're like, but we just have dessert. And I was like, I can't. So
You
they
can't.
wrapped it up and they gave it to us. But that's not the funny story. Oh. So there's the table, and on one side of the table is a giant swimming pool, huge. And on the other side of the table is where the wait staff would come and bring us everything, and the chefs and all of that. And we're sitting there, and we had just finished the first course, and all of a sudden, this giant cicada, yes, because it's cicadas, just went and like dive bombed me in my hair, and I kind of gasped or screamed, and then it fell out and it was on the table, and we were having a stare down. Like that thing was looking at me, I was looking at it, right? And I'm just like, you better F off right now. Did it F off?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no,
what did it decide
not.
to do? It decided to dive
Attack.
bomb me. It attacked over and over and over, and I'm sitting there screaming.
Well, you were standing at that point in time,
right, and I didn't
flailing madly at your hair,
my hair. It's
screaming.
Like, because I've got curly hair, and those of us that have curly hair know that it's kind of like a bird's nest for the most part.
And stumbling, and I'm like, oh my!
And I didn't want to fall in the pool.
She's going to fall into. She's going to fall in the
laughing.
pool, and I could not stop laughing.
He
I
was
was
laughing,
not very gallant at that moment.
No,
I was
and
just
everybody in
crying.
the restaurant was just kind of sitting there staring. And then
I think people were pulling their phones out.
I wish if anybody sees something like that online, please be sure to send it to me, because I'll be like,
my
oh yeah, that's
God.
me. So then it finally came out of my hair again, and it's sitting on the table, and I'm like doing the insect dance, making sure nothing else is in my hair without, being my clumsy self in my wedges falling into the pool, which I did not do. And then the hostess just walks over, nonchalantly palms the bug with her hand and just walks away.
Like no big.
Yeah, like no biggie. No biggie at all. I was like,
awesome.
oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was awesome. But it was, but then I have to say afterwards, you laughed about it.
We were cracking up.
We were crying, but you were laughing at it. See, and that's important because, sometimes, things happen, right? Things happen, and what are you going to do? You just got to go, huh? Oh, well.
That cicada was a big.
I remember falling asleep in class one time, and I had, yes, that did happen, listeners. Yes, I did fall asleep in class, and I fell asleep, and I woke up really suddenly.
Yeah.
And my arm flew out, and I had all these books on my desk, and the books went flying all over the classroom.
This is a thing with you with books flying
Oh
everywhere.
no, I know.
I will admit something incredibly embarrassing for all of our listeners, and just put it out in the universe because it happens. I also fell asleep in class. This was in high school, and I woke up to the sound of me letting out the biggest fart. Planet. And I realized everybody was laughing their asses off. I just decided to play dead. I just kept my head down.
You did the possum.
I did. I was totally did the possum. Like I was just sleeping, and then when the bell rang, I woke up. I walked out. Nobody ever said a fucking word to me.
Oh, there you go.
Ever in the entire rest of my high school career. I wonder if that's why I never went to any reunions.
Yeah, well, that could be. Now, then the fact that it was high school.
It was also high school. I really didn't care.
Yeesh.
The people that I stayed in touch with were the only ones I wanted to stay in touch with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's out there.
There it is.
Embarrassing things happen.
They do.
Just laugh at yourself.
Laugh it off because honestly, this is
What else?
What else you gonna do? And we're but so there we go. That's the topic of today's lesson. Stop taking yourself so seriously, and please, people in traffic, stop taking yourself so seriously.
Oh my
Good
God.
God Almighty! You're at a green light for 1/2 of a second, and people are honking like crazy.
Calm yourself.
Just relax.
Go around for the love of God.
It's okay.
God.
And of course, use your turn signals and do head checks, please.
Yes.
Do head checks and turn your signals. That's kind of like an Ask Dad
That's a classic
staple,
ask.
right?
Yes, it is. It is. Both hands on the wheel, off the phone. You don't need your phone.
Or at least one hand on the wheel. I mean, come on. Anyway.
Where's my other hand if it's not on the wheel, honey?
On the radio.
Oh,
on the radio.
right.
Or on
yeah.
your gear shift.
Or on the gear shift.
On the gear shift. All right. Well, do we have any questions on that fine note?
On the gear shift. No,
the
I
gear
do
shift.
like myself a good gear shift.
On the hand on the gear shift.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we do. We have a question from Thomas in College Park, Maryland. You ready for this?
I am.
Well, first, hi, Thomas.
Hey,
Thank you
Thomas.
for writing in.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. Always good to hear
It
from our
is.
listeners. And thank you, listeners. Please feel free to do all the things.
All the things you mean, like reach out to us, dad
Follow
jokes,
us.
follow us, dad jokes.
Share us with
Yeah.
a friend.
Yes,
Or
and,
25.
And ask what topics you want to talk about. It's will at iwillaskdad.com. We'll get back to that later. But Thomas says, as a 20-year-old student, I'm struggling to balance my academic workload with my part-time job. I feel overwhelmed and constantly stressed. How can I manage my time better and reduce my anxiety? Oh, dear God. I remember those days.
me too.
Oh, my God.
Me too. I was working nearly full time, going
Same.
to school.
Same.
I was working in a lab, and I was, I was like trying to pull in as much time as I could, so I could, pay for like rent and stuff
Yes,
like that.
I remember when I was in grad school, I worked 3 jobs to put myself through grad school, while everybody else had the wonderful advantage, and I'm happy they did, that their parents were able to pay for them. But I worked 3 jobs. I think I was sleeping 4 hours a night.
Yeah, I had a full load of classes, and I was working nearly full time, and I was also the director of a student volunteer program.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
It was.
A lot of work, but it was great. But I mean, I was really, really super busy.
Yeah. So
But-
Thomas.
Yes. So you look like you want to give the advice.
No.
It's okay if you do. I'm okay with it.
You start, Will Snow.
Well, what I learned when I was going through this process was that number one, I had to be realistic about what I actually could do and what I couldn't do. So, and when I was really, really, really struggling with subjects that I didn't think I should be struggling with so much, I realized that I was taking too many classes per quarter or semester at the time. So I scaled that back a little bit, and I acquiesced to the fact that I was going to have to go another semester. So I did. And that was hard. Like I had this concept that I was going to get through in 4 years, and I was only going to pay for 4 years, and I ended up having to do another half a year. But the universe rewarded that, So that's when I met Helen. So
Yeah.
my second senior year. But the other thing that I realized, I think so.
String.
That's truth.
Continue.
But the other thing was, I had to realign myself here. What was the primary reason that I was at that university at that time? It was to earn my degree and hopefully find work afterwards. But that was the primary objective. So the primary objective was to go to school. Everything else was really secondary.
Sure.
So when I started looking at it from that perspective, I put my emphasis on what was primarily important, which was school, and how was I going to get through that piece of it, and then I layered the other stuff that was also necessary. So prioritizing, and so it's very interesting about prioritizing as well. So one of the world's greatest investors, Warren Buffett. There's a great story about how he met a young man who said, "I want to be like you. I want to be successful like you." And so he asked him, "Well, what are your priorities?" And so the man listed like 10 different things he wanted to do, and Warren Buffett said, "Well, that's why you're not going to be successful,
Right.
because a human being can really have like maybe 3 at max.
Right.
You got 10. You're spreading yourself too thin. You can only really focus on what you can focus on. So focus on the things that are most important. And for you, this is school.
Yeah.
The school
Yeah.
is the thing right now. So do focus on what you're doing with school. If you have to spread it out a little bit, maybe you do. It's not the end of the world to say, okay, this is too much for me to handle. So
That asking for help is another good
Yeah.
option. I do remember when I was in undergrad, I think it was my senior year, I was really struggling and, the same thing, the full-time job and school and all of the extra things. And the university had like a group therapy for people that were going through the same things. So also knowing I wasn't alone and being in this group to talk about what we can do, and some of them became really good friends.
Oh yeah, actually, it was very interesting. I remember at one point in time when I was overwhelmed with this, and I had failed a midterm very badly, and not because I didn't study for it, but because I was so stressed out that I actually and so anxious that my brain was running in a big circle. It was just running in the circles, and I could not get anything on paper. And it was the craziest, most distressing feeling I'd ever had because I knew the material.
Right.
And I couldn't get anything on the paper, and time's ticking away, and I'm like, oh my God,
The timer.
and so afterwards, I just, I was miserable. I'm like, oh my God, I'm killing myself here, and I just don't know what to do. And so I went I was like, I need some help. And so I went into the student services center, and there was this thing about test anxiety. So I talked to one of the counselors, and they're like, "Oh, man, you're just having test anxiety. You're having big time test anxiety. Yeah. So you got to read about anxiety." And they had all kinds of resources on it. And one of the things that really worked for me was that there was an Olympic diver. God, his name just eludes me right now. But he was an Olympic diver, gold medalist, and he'd won a couple golds. And he said basically that his mantra, he suffered really badly from anxiety as well. And he said that his mantra before every single dive that he would do, his mantra was, I'm going to do the best I can. Whatever happens, my mother is still going to love me when this is over. So every single dive, he just reminded himself of the fact that that he was worthy. His mom was going to love him regardless of what the outcome of that particular dive was, and it allowed him to release that anxiety enough to get and be very, very successful. I actually picked that mantra up, and I did that before classes. I mean, before tests,
Wow.
and it helped. It really did. So, but again, asking for some help. But honestly, I think prioritization is just so crucial here. What is the most important thing we're going to do here today? What is it? Focus on that, and the other things will come as they come. And honestly, if you're working a job, like I was working this job, I'm like, is this something that I'm going to be doing after I graduate from school? The answer was absolutely no. So therefore, it was far less of a priority.
Exactly.
Of course, I actually did some things to make that even better for me.
Of course.
Because
you're Will Snow.
Because I am Will Snow. I am a strategist. At any rate, well, and that's great. So thank you very much for your question.
Yeah, thank you, Thomas.
yeah.
And we'd love to hear how you're doing, what strategies and techniques you've picked up, and if you are looking in the beauty of every day, maybe wake up and say, what is the beauty of today? Or before you go to sleep, what was the beautiful thing that happened today? And choose one thing. That's a Will Snow mantra
just one thing, and try to laugh at it as well. So, speaking of laughing, I have a joke. I have a joke for you.
I have a joke for you.
So, how many narcissists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
So I know the answer to this one. The reason I know the answer
because you lived with one.
I did. I lived with quite a few, but I actually did this joke a while ago.
Oh, well, then never mind.
No. Go ahead.
Tell the world. It's old stuff.
But now, what if somebody didn't listen to the one where I did?
Yeah,
I'll make sure you get laughter. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So it takes one, right? The narcissist holds in the light bulb while the rest of the world revolves around them. Okay.
Oh, that wasn't the punchline that I had.
That's even better.
Hold on. Where is it? Keep talking about something. I'll find it.
So, one of the things you talked about, which is really interesting, and it really blew me away, you jumped out of a plane. You jumped out of a plane.
I did jump out of a plane. Oh, and the punchline for how many narcissists does it take to change a light bulb? None, because they use gaslighting.
Oh, I like that one better. That's better.
I know, of course it is, because I'm Debo.
So I was reading the other day, though, you don't need a parachute to go skydiving.
Is that a fact?
That is absolutely a fact. You just need one to go skydiving twice.
Okay. All right. All right. So that one is like, but yes, I did go skydiving. It was, God, when was it? It was right before, it was before my 40th, I think. And I was kind of going through some stuff and I decided I wanted to jump out of a plane and I know it sounds corny, but I was like, I'm going to jump into my new life. I am starting fresh, getting rid of some toxicity.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. I love it.
Now, granted, I was attached to a ginormous man. He was huge. And at the time, I probably weighed like 104 pounds, which wasn't healthy. That's a whole other story. That's a whole other podcast. But yeah, so...
That might be an Ask Debo podcast.
An Ask Debo.
Last time I was 104 pounds was in 7th grade, so...
Well, yeah, I was a bit depressed, but, I got through it, and here I am.
And here you are.
Yes, doing very well. But yes, that's a whole other story. So, what do you call a clumsy, erotic dancer?
A clumsy, erotic dancer?
Yeah.
I mean... babe, you just said you weren't going to talk about that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to laugh at myself here. Okay.
What do you call a clumsy?
I don't know. What do you call a clumsy erotic dancer?
A tripper.
I like it.
Applause.
I like
it. Yes, I'm amazing. Whoa.
On that note,
I have to turn the laughter off. I keep forgetting to turn off the buttons on my board. On that note, absolutely, everyone, thank you for tuning in to Ask Dad. We invite you to go to our website, iwillaskdad.com, because the entire Rescue Cat book is up there, all the chapters, for you for free. It's a wonderful book. It's very deep, meaningful, written by our very own Will Snow.
And funny. There are laughs.
There are some laughs, absolutely. So we thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Ask Dad, the show of fatherly advice for all with a smattering of bad dad jokes. The love is real and the man is real. So we will see you next time. And until then, continue to send us your dad jokes and questions to will@iwillaskdad.com, and we'll talk about it all. We'll talk about the good, we'll talk about the bad, and we'll talk about the dad.